Well, I suppose when you look at this tie on paper, if you've been picking one out, you'd want to go for at home against a side who were a couple of leagues lower, but then you look a bit more detail at the statistics, and Dover have done really well on the road.
Away from home, I think they've won 7 of the last 10 or something like that. No, every team provides a test, and we've got to make sure that we put a performance in. That's the most important thing on Sunday. We've got to get a level of performance right, and then you hope that's enough to get you in the next round.
Yeah, it is one of those games, isn't it, where I know you always say you want to focus on yourself, you want to make it about you as much as possible, but it really is one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you know, it's a free hit for Dover because they've got nothing to lose. I'm sure they'll just come and relax and play, so that makes them a dangerous opponent, just that alone. But really, there shouldn't be any more added motivation for us. It's not like it's going from the first to the second round, where maybe you need to just get into them a little bit more, but from the second to the third, the motivation is there. We need to get in the third round, and then obviously that opens up all different things.
How much difference does it make when you know that they're going to play with a certain level of freedom? I guess you can look at previous matches and you can look at what they've done, but because it is a free hit, it's very much different. Yeah,
and that's why it's so important that we get the things that we want to do right on the day, and approach it like any other game. I don't expect any complacency from our players. I'll be making sure I drum that into them, that it's very, very important that we need to keep this home form going, and really just, it's a cup match, you need to go and win it. But it won't be easy, so we've looked at Dover in detail as any other opposition, and they have got some real strengths. Playing a diamond midfield a bit like ourselves for a long time now, so we've got something we haven't come up against too much. So there's different things that we maybe haven't come up against before on Sunday, but certainly it's more about how we perform and continuing in this really good home form.
Do you think with that sense of freedom and the pressure being off, that will allow them to come at you a little bit more? What have they been doing away from home? What's been the key to their success?
No, I don't think it was a bit of an odd game for them the other night. It was 4-3 they lost, a lot of goals. I know the manager wasn't happy with the manner of the goals they lost, so, but you know, we've just got to make sure we get our job done, and you always need a bit of luck in the cup. You hope that first and foremost we take care of ourselves and we get to a level of performance that we know we can get to. Then we'll obviously give them a very difficult game.
Yeah, was Stevenage the second game in the tie, the replay, was that a good example of keeping the standards as high as you can? Okay, it wasn't necessarily always the most flowing game, but the standards were there and you got the job done? Yeah,
I wasn't so happy with certain things in that game. We got a fantastic start, got the opening goal, and then I think a little bit of complacency did come into it, and sometimes that can happen when you get an early goal and perhaps players started doing things I didn't want, and it became a little bit more individual as opposed to a team, and that gave us a problem. And I sensed that quite early in the Stevenage game, and you know, there was one or two things that we looked at after that game that we need to get right. And it's really important that we don't have that sort of performance again. Although we won the game, it became a bit of a struggle towards the end. So if the same thing happened again, I think we've just got to put our foot down and keep going and make sure you get the next goal before the 90th minute.
Yeah, because I suppose when you only have that 1-goal lead, it only takes a moment, doesn't it? And it can all change. It's the nature of football.
When you've only got 1-goal lead, especially in a cup match, and it gets to the sort of end bit of the game, the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the argument about they're a lower team is absolutely gone out the window. It could be a schoolboy team, doesn't matter, because they've always got a chance, and they just put the ball in the box and they can get deflection or anything. It's just, you know, you've got to make sure that if you can, generally, if we do go ahead, we try and get the next goal, and then if we get the second goal, try and get the third one. That's how we play, and it doesn't matter, it's over on Sunday.
With the injuries, we know about Josh Knight and George Boyd. Are they the two ahead of this weekend?
Yes, don't have really anything else. Touch wood, off the top of my head. Now, Josh is going to be a bit of time. George, he's getting there. He was out in the grass today running. Obviously Sunday will be too early for him, so we'll see how he does in the next week leading up to the Portsmouth game.
Yeah, and you spoke about it last weekend, but substitutes impressing you and trying to get in the mix. Fraser Blake Tracy, when he came on, you said in the post-match interview that he did everything that had been asked of him, and suddenly that becomes an interesting option and something to look at, because particularly with Josh Knight out for a little while, there is the potential to maybe do something there.
Yeah, I mean, what he gives us is a left foot and balance, so to play on that side, on the left hand side of the pitch, helps. It's something I did think of. He hadn't done it before, but you know, really, yeah, any position for a player they should be able to play. And we do a lot of work on our tactical stuff, so they should be able to play in a position that's maybe that they're not used to. But he came on and he actually did everything I asked of him before he went on. He was aggressive. He won second balls. He kept the ball simple. He won the second ball to lead up to Joe's goal. So he is one of those players that he could, I think, play anywhere on the pitch. I really do.
With Joe Ward, everybody can see what he brings to the team in terms of his commitment, enthusiasm and plenty of skill as well. Probably an argument to say that the midfield diamond isn't a natural fit for him, given he's done a lot of his career as a winger. What does he need to do to take that next step? Because he's clearly got the raw materials.
Well, the only thing stopping Joe Ward is Joe Ward. It's as simple as that. He stopped him being a real pivotal part of what we're trying to do. The position he's in more of a natural, wider player, but he has got used to playing in the position in the diamond and does it fine. And he just needs to have more belief in himself. It really is as simple as that. And we can try everything, as a manager can speak to him and give him that, but he needs to just have a bit more belief on the pitch, and he'll be absolutely fine, because he's got all the raw tools and he's got the ability, and he can get a goal, he can get an assist. I just think he needs to believe in himself a little bit more. Can
there be a case of just one day the penny will drop and you can go from there to there and it will just happen and no one will really know why?
Well, really, you think on Sunday, if you're not going to believe in yourself after what he did, I mean, what a goal, incredible goal. You'd like to think that brings him on in confidence. He just come back in the team, he scores a goal like that. United's out injured, Boydie's out injured, there's places, up for grabs. So you like to think that if he goes from strength to strength, and if he does and we get everything out of him, then you can be a real asset for the team.
And in terms of the bigger picture between now and Christmas, is there a sense of you deal with this weekend, you deal with Wednesday night, and then I think, is it 6 League One games then up until the Christmas period, so then it really is a case of having a good run at the league?
Yeah, I mean, the Burton game was huge in for that reason, in terms of, and also for the fact we'd lost our 2 previous games. It really was a case of just getting the win, and that's what we managed to do. So it puts us in a fairly strong position in the league, or keeps us around the area we probably want to be in. And then we now have 2 cup matches before the next league game. But what we're trying to do, obviously, is get into the 3rd round, get into the last 16, last 8, is it, of the Leeson Cup, if we can, whatever it is. Beat Ipswich, beat Dover, and then that's boxed off. We know that can take care of that, and then it's just purely the league. And we've got a really tough run of games in December, and that's why it's going to be important people like Boyd and that get fit for all these games coming up.
Yeah, it's amazing, really, isn't it? It's the way that an English season goes, but you end up with 3 games, is it, in November, and then double the number in December, so you just have to keep your fingers crossed that people can stay fit and on form.
Yeah, and you need everyone, and I've said it all along for the whole season, we need the whole squad, and especially December is the real area where we need it. And we'll go into December in the Portsmouth game, if we've done our job, knowing that, okay, we're in a decent position, or a good position in the league, I'd have to say, with a very new team. We have to remember that. We also hopefully have done our job in the cup, getting the 3rd round, doing well in the other cup, and then we can go into that run of games in real confidence, with a real positive frame of mind, and have a right good go at it. Because once you come out of the back of that, and I think the January the 1st, the Lincoln game, then hopefully you've got another cup match. But November's been a very, very bitty month, in the sense that there's league games and cup, then league, then cup. I'm glad to get out of the way, really. I've got to be honest.